Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. In earlier times, marriage was regarded as a very secret institution, and the Grihasthana or the Grihasth Ashram was supposed to be one of the most important ashramas, and it was so sacred that it was many times mentioned in many ancient texts and shlokas that a person who doesn't do the Grihasth Ashram well or doesn't complete the Grihasth Ashram will not have a easy going towards moksha. That means without the Grihasth Ashram, without experiencing it, without experiencing the commitment, the loyalty, the sacrifices, the patience, the love, and the empathy that you need to show in the Grihasth Ashram, and all of the personality attributes which a person needs to show in his life all come to the fore. If you don't do that well, then the chances of moksha also reduce. So obviously the Grihasth Ashram was a very important institution, and even today the sacred altar or marriage is still considered to be a very important event in one's life. And usually in earlier times it was seen as a long-term affair, and in some religions it is considered as a togetherness or partnership of maybe 7 lives. But is that true in today's time? Is marriage as sacred, or has the institution of marriage changed and the way people or society looks at marriage changed? Obviously it has changed, and the proof is all around us. Marriages are not surviving as long as they used to survive earlier, and the number of marriages which a person has as an average has gone up, and the average is moving up slowly. Till the early 20th century, even in the West, the number of marriages used to be generally just 1 or just above 1. However, in the first 50 years, by the turn of the 1950s, after the Second World War, when many lives of men were lost in wars, it was found that the number of marriages went up drastically, both for men and women, and it has not looked back from then on, where now instead of marriages, relationships are counted rather than marriages, and a relationship may or may not end in a marriage. And so the concept of marriage has also changed. However, how do you look at the concept of marriage from the ancient shlokas? For example, if a couple decides not to get married and they just have a live-in relationship, a partnership or a coming together of a couple in a conjugal relationship where they share the same house, they share the same bed, and they are not hesitant to acknowledge that relationship to society, can be considered as a marriage which is come about, except that there may not be a religious ceremony. So when somebody asks the question, when am I likely to get married, obviously they mean the religious ceremony that they are looking at, because it's easier to get into a relationship which is a fleeting relationship and get out of it, and a lot of times both the genders are indulging in that. However, people who are really concerned about the coming together in a holy matrimony, or walking up the steps of the altar, or taking the Saat Pheras, for them the timing of the event of marriage is important. Now when the question is asked, generally Jupiter and Saturn's transit, especially over the Lagna or the Lagna Lord or the 7th house or the 7th Lord, are considered to be the most strong givers of the time of marriage. However, for a fast moving planet like a Mercury or a Venus or Moon, the aspect of Jupiter or Saturn will be a regular affair if they are the Lagna Lord or the 7th Lord. So then how does it work? So in that case, For example, for a Taurus ascendant native, Venus and Mars, the 7th lord and the 1st lord. For Taurus ascendant, Venus is the Lagna lord and Mars is the 7th lord. They both are quite fast in their transit. So it will be every few months that both of them come under the aspect of a Jupiter and Saturn. So does that mean every time Venus and Mars come under the aspect of Jupiter and Saturn, will the marriage come about? That is not the case. So then how do you look at when is the marriage most feasible? And if we say that the aspect of Jupiter and Saturn on the Lagna as well as the or the Lagna Lord or the 7th house of the 7th Lord is a strong denoter of or may demonstrate or showcase a time of marriage, but it should also be supported by the Dasha. So if for a woman the Dasha of Jupiter starts when she is 15, so when will she get married then? So it's obviously an important thing to note that when is the marriage more possible. So while the timing of marriage can be looked at a closer event, but absolute guarantee that the marriage will happen during that time may not be always possible for an astrologer to work out. So an astrologer, however good he or she is, may give a tentative period when it is most likely that the marriage can happen, or the most auspicious event if the native or the couple decides to get married. However, what can be looked into as is there an early marriage for a person or not? If there is an early marriage placement or sharing of energies between planets which share certain placements which gives an early marriage, then it is more easier to say that a certain period the marriage is more likely to happen than at a later period. So what are the signs of an early marriage or an early acknowledged union between a couple as per the shlokas, as per the ancient texts? Let's jump into it. One of the cases or placements for an early marriage is for a male native, if one has a strong moon in the 3rd house, whereas in the case of a female native, a strong sun in the 3rd house along with the aspect on it of the 7th lord or the Lagna lord can give a combination of an early marriage. Then 3rd house is special because the 3rd house is the 9th house from the 7th house. So it demonstrates the gain of the 7th house. The gain of the 7th house, obviously the 9th house from the 7th, and hence the 3rd house becomes important. The second placement is if the moon is very powerful and occupies either the 5th place or the 7th place from the Lagna, as well as in the Navamsa Lagna, then the chances of an early marriage are also possible, especially if the moon is also in conjunction with or aspected by either Jupiter or Venus and a favorable dasha is on. Another placement is when either the 7th lord or the 7th house has a Shubha Kartari yoga with benefits on either side of the 7th lord or either side of the 7th house, which means if the 7th lord, for example, is in the 4th house and the 3rd house and 5th house are occupied by benefits such as Mercury or Venus or Moon or Jupiter, or if the 7th lord is in the 5th house and the benefits are in the 3rd and 5th house, then it is said to be that the Shubh Kartari yoga of the 7th lord or 7th house is on. It can also be stronger denotion if the Jupiter or Venus also have benefics on either side. For example, if Jupiter has Venus and Mercury on either side in the horoscope, then too it's possible that for a lady an early marriage may happen. On the other hand, Venus having Jupiter and Mercury on either side are a stronger denotation for a man. This is given stronger denotation if the aspect of the 7th house lord or the Lagna lord is also on the either Jupiter or Venus. Another placement of an early marriage could be when the 7th lord and the Lagna lord both are in conjunction in a friendly sign to both, and the dasha of any of them will happen at an early stage in life. For example, for a Taurus ascendant native, if Venus and Mars, the lord of the Lagna and the 7th house, are both placed in Capricorn, where Capricorn is a friendly sign to Venus and an exaltation sign for Mars, then if the dasha of Venus is close at hand and at a marriageable age, which could be after the 15th year of age, then an early marriage is possible. Yet another placement is if either Venus or Jupiter and the lord of the 7th house are in any of the water signs. So if Venus or Jupiter are either in Cancer or Scorpio or Pisces with a aspect of the 7th lord or in conjunction with the 7th lord, then too an early marriage is possible. Since the 11th house is the house of aspirations and desires, if the 2nd lord and the 11th lord exchange signs and the dasha of anyone is on, especially if any one of them is in conjunction with the 7th lord, then an early marriage can come about. Another placement is when the lord of the 7th house is in a friendly sign or a own sign or in Mool Trikona or in exaltation, and Venus is also exalted or in own house, especially with the aspect of a benefic such as of Jupiter, then too an early marriage can be seen. So friends, now that we have seen what are the placements of an early marriage, if you are of a marriageable age or if you are looking for a marriage for somebody you know, maybe a sibling or a son or a daughter or even a friend, then look at these placements so that you can ascertain, is the marriage more likely to happen earlier in life or at a later time. So friends, please like my video, please share my video, and if you like to have a consultation for me, please reach out to me at the links given below. Until we meet some other time, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.